What if I told you that everything you learned in school about geography was a lie? That Mount Everest isn't the tallest mountain? That you can see Russia from America? And that the Great Wall of China is invisible from space? Stick around because I'm about to shatter 50 facts you've believed your entire life. And I guarantee, by fact number 25, you'll be questioning everything you think you know about our planet. Fact 50. Mount Everest isn't the world's tallest mountain. You've probably bragged about knowing Everest is the world's tallest mountain at dinner parties. Well, prepare to eat humble pie. While Everest reaches highest above sea level, the actual tallest mountain is Mauna Kea in Hawaii. From base to tip, this volcanic giant measures 33,500 feet tall. That's 4,500 feet taller than Everest. The only reason most people don't know this is because the majority of Mauna Kea's impressive height remains hidden underwater beneath the Pacific Ocean. Have you ever been to Hawaii and not known you were next to the world's tallest mountain? Fact 49. The Great Wall of China is invisible from space. This is perhaps the most repeated fun fact that's completely wrong. Astronauts orbiting Earth cannot see the Great Wall with the naked eye from space. You know what they can actually see clearly? The massive runways of Houston Airport. The Great Wall is simply too thin and blends seamlessly with the surrounding brown landscape and forest. This persistent myth amazingly started way back in 1932 through a Ripley's Believe It or Not cartoon, decades before humans had even traveled to space to verify such claims. Fact 48. There are actually 4 different South Poles. Our planet doesn't have one South Pole. There are 4. The geographic South Pole, where Earth's axis meets crust. The geomagnetic South Pole, where magnetic field intersects surface. The magnetic South Pole, where field lines enter crust. And the inaccessible South Pole, furthest from any ocean shoreline. Which South Pole did you think was the real one? Fact 47. Africa can fit the US, India, China, and most of Europe. Thanks to misleading map projections, people dramatically underestimate Africa's massive size. This incredible continent spans 11.7 million square miles. You could fit the entire United States, India, China, and most of Europe inside Africa's borders with room left over. Mercator projection creates this geographic illusion for generations. Fact 46. Greenland is smaller than the Democratic Republic of Congo. On world maps, Greenland appears massive, sometimes bigger than Africa. In reality, Greenland covers only 836,000 square miles. The Democratic Republic of Congo covers 906,000 square miles, making it larger than Greenland. Map projections stretch landmasses near poles while compressing equatorial areas, creating geography's most persistent visual lies. Fact 45. Finland isn't actually part of Scandinavia. Even though Finland borders Sweden and shares Nordic culture, it's linguistically different from Scandinavian countries. Swedish, Norwegian, and Danish evolved from Germanic roots. Finnish comes from completely separate Uralic language family, including Hungarian and Estonian. While Finland belongs to Nordic region, geographers exclude it from technical Scandinavian classification. Fact 44. Antarctica is actually the world's largest desert. Antarctica qualifies as Earth's largest desert. Deserts are defined by extremely low precipitation and sparse vegetation, not temperature. Antarctica receives only 0.4 inches of rainfall over 30 years and supports virtually no plant life. At 5 million square miles, this polar desert absolutely dwarfs the famous Sahara Desert. Fact 43. The Sahara isn't even the second largest desert. The famous Sahara Desert only claims the #1 desert ranking if you're specifically counting hot, sandy deserts. The actual second largest desert on Earth is the Arctic Desert, covering remote island groups including Svalbard, Franz Josef Land, Severny Island, and Severnaya Zemlya in the frigid Arctic Ocean. These islands collectively span 62,300 square miles of barren, vegetation-free landscape. Despite being surrounded by ocean water, they qualify as desert because they receive minimal rainfall and support almost no plant life throughout their harsh polar environment. Fact 42. Rivers don't always flow north to south direction. Rivers flow downhill following gravity, not necessarily southward. We think north equals up because of map orientations, but gravity pulls water toward Earth's center regardless of directions. Famous examples include the Nile flowing northward through Africa, Rhine flowing north through Europe, and Orinoco flowing north through South America. Name a river in your country. Which direction does it flow? Fact 41. You can actually see Russia from Alaska. Sarah Palin was technically correct. From Little Diomede Island in Alaska, you can clearly observe Big Diomede Island in Russia, separated by merely 2.4 miles of Bering Strait water. On clear days, you can see Russian mainland from Alaska's western coast. Some Alaska territory crosses into Eastern Hemisphere, making it both westernmost and easternmost state. Fact 40. The Statue of Liberty stands in New Jersey. Waters Lady. Liberty symbolizes New York City but stands in New Jersey's territorial waters. The Supreme Court intervened in 1987, declaring the statue part of New York City despite its New Jersey location. The island belongs to New York, but surrounding waters belong to New Jersey. Visitors technically enter New Jersey waters approaching America's most famous symbol. Fact 39. Kansas City is primarily located in Missouri. Kansas City is predominantly in Missouri, with only small portion in Kansas. The Missouri side contains downtown area, major sports teams, and most attractions people associate with Kansas City. This developed because the city was established in Missouri first, then expanded across state lines. The Kansas portion remains much smaller than Missouri counterpart. Fact 38. Holland is just 2 provinces within the Netherlands. Using Holland for entire Netherlands is like calling all America Texas. Holland specifically refers to North Holland and South Holland provinces within the larger Netherlands. These provinces contain Amsterdam, Rotterdam, and The Hague, explaining why the regional name became internationally popular. You should say the Netherlands when referring to the entire country. Fact 36. Iceland is green and Greenland is icy. The names are backwards. Iceland features relatively green landscapes, mild coastal temperatures, and ice-free harbors throughout much of the year. Greenland remains mostly covered in massive ice sheets and glaciers. Eric the Red deliberately named Greenland to attract settlers, while Iceland got its name from icy fjords. Medieval marketing has misled people for over 1,000 years. Who else feels personally betrayed by Viking marketing? Fact 35. Canberra is Australia's capital, not Sydney. Sydney boasts Opera House, Harbour Bridge, largest population, and international fame, but Canberra serves as Australia's capital. Canberra was designed as compromise capital in 1913 after rivalry between Sydney and Melbourne. Located halfway between major cities, Canberra was carved from sheep farming land. Most tourists visit Sydney expecting government buildings. Fact 34. Abuja is Nigeria's capital, not Lagos. Anymore, Lagos served as Nigeria's capital until 1991, explaining why many believe it still holds that status. The government relocated capital to smaller, centrally located Abuja for strategic reasons. Lagos remains Nigeria's largest city with over 21 million residents and economic powerhouse. One factor in choosing Abuja was its proximity to Nigeria's first amusement park. Fact 33. Ottawa is Canada's capital, not Toronto. Toronto dominates with CN Tower, largest population, economic influence, and international recognition, but Ottawa has served as Canada's capital since 1857. Queen Victoria chose Ottawa for its defensible location between Quebec and Ontario provinces. Ottawa's position along Ottawa River provided natural protection and equal access to French and English-speaking regions. Fact 32. South Africa has 3 different capital cities. South Africa uniquely divides governmental functions across 3 cities. Cape Town serves as legislative capital housing parliament. Pretoria functions as executive capital containing government departments. And Bloemfontein operates as judicial capital hosting Supreme Court. Meanwhile, Johannesburg, the largest and most economically important city, isn't a capital at all. This arrangement dates to 1910. Fact 31. Bern is Switzerland's capital, not Geneva or Zurich. Geneva hosts United Nations and Red Cross, while Zurich dominates as financial powerhouse, but small Bern serves as national capital. The Swiss parliament chose Bern in 1848 to avoid concentrating power in wealthy Zurich. As Switzerland's 5th largest city, Bern seems unremarkable but houses federal government. International visitors consistently guess Geneva or Zurich. Fact 30. The Missouri River is longer than the Mississippi. The mighty Mississippi receives fame, songs, and recognition, but Missouri River measures 200 miles longer. U.S. Geological Survey lists Missouri River at 2,540 miles compared to Mississippi's 2,340 miles. Missouri serves as major tributary feeding Mississippi system, creating confusion about lengths. Both form America's largest river system, but Missouri claims longest individual river record. Fact 29. You can't dig through Earth to reach China. Every American child dreams of digging to China, but this is impossible. Digging straight through Earth's core from continental United States would emerge an Indian Ocean near Australia, nowhere near China. US and China aren't geographic opposites despite being cultural opposites. China's actual antipodal point lies in South America, while America's opposite sits between Africa and Australia. Fact 28. Water doesn't drain differently in opposite hemispheres. The famous toilet drainage myth is false. Water doesn't consistently swirl clockwise in Northern Hemisphere and counterclockwise in Southern Hemisphere. Coriolis effect influences large-scale weather, but is too weak for small water amounts. Drainage direction depends on water flow angle, basin shape, and initial movement, not hemisphere location. This myth has misled countless people. Fact 27. Penguins don't actually live at the North Pole. Every Christmas movie, holiday decoration, and children's book shows penguins and polar bears together at the North Pole. But this is completely impossible. Penguins only live in the Southern Hemisphere, primarily around Antarctica. Polar bears only live in the Arctic around the North Pole. These iconic animals are separated by the entire planet and will never meet in the wild. Holiday marketing has been lying to us for decades. Fact 26. Route 66 isn't America's longest highway. Despite songs, movies, and cultural references celebrating Route 66, it's not America's longest highway. The Mother Road stretches 2,448 miles from Chicago to Los Angeles, but Interstate 90 spans 3,020 miles from Boston to Seattle. Route 66 gained legendary status during the Great Depression, but Get Your Kicks on Interstate 90 doesn't sound as catchy. Fact 25. Christopher Columbus didn't discover Earth is round. Ancient Greek scholars proved Earth's spherical shape over 2,000 years before Columbus. Aristotle, Eratosthenes, and others calculated Earth's circumference with remarkable accuracy. The flat Earth myth originated in the 1800s and has no historical basis. Columbus's crew worried about supplies during long voyage, not falling off world's edge. Fact 24. Australia has snow and Olympic-level skiing. The sunburnt country stereotype ignores Australia's snowy mountain regions. Tasmania and eastern ranges receive regular winter snowfall, with some areas accumulating 118 inches annually. Australian ski resorts operate June through August, attracting winter sports enthusiasts. Australia has produced Olympic gold medalists in skiing competitions. The Snowy Mountains region provides excellent skiing conditions, contradicting beach and desert assumptions. Fact 23. Alaska has America's longest coastline by far. Florida seems obvious with water surrounding most of the state, but Alaska's coastline absolutely dwarfs competition. Alaska's irregular, island-filled coastline measures incredible 6,640 miles compared to Florida's 1,350 miles. Alaska's massive size, countless islands, fjords, and complex geography create extensive coastal boundary. While Florida has warmer beaches, Alaska's scale makes it America's undisputed coastal champion. Fact 22. Hawaii is America's southernmost state. Key West, Florida claims southernmost point in continental United States, but Hawaii extends much further south. Hawaii reaches nearly 21st parallel, positioning it just 1,465 miles north of equator. This makes Hawaii America's closest territory to the southern hemisphere. Fact 21. Wyoming has America's lowest state population. Alaska's harsh climate used to make it least populated, but Wyoming now holds that distinction. Wyoming's population hovers around 587,000 residents, smaller than most major cities. Vermont ranks second lowest with 648,000, while Alaska grew to 740,000. Wyoming's vast spaces, limited jobs, and harsh winters contribute to small population despite being America's 10th largest state by area. Fact 20. Kashmir is controlled by 3 different countries. Kashmir represents one of the world's most complex territorial disputes, with China, India, and Pakistan controlling different regions. India administers half through Jammu, Kashmir, and Ladakh states. Pakistan controls 1/3 through Azad Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan. China holds northeastern areas. This division has triggered wars and continues generating international tension, making Kashmir politically complicated. Who else had no idea Kashmir was this complicated? Fact 19. Krakatoa is west of Java, not east. The famous 1968 movie Krakatoa East of Java got basic geography wrong. The volcanic island sits west of Java, not east. The explosion was 13,000 times more powerful than Hiroshima and heard in Australia. Film producers knew about their error but decided east sounded more dramatic. They eventually re-released as simply volcano to remove embarrassing geographical mistake. Fact 18. Mount Elbrus is Europe's tallest mountain. Famous Matterhorn and Mont Blanc get attention, but neither ranks as Europe's tallest. Russia's Mount Elbrus towers at 18,500 feet, making alpine peaks look small. Mont Blanc reaches 16,800 feet, while Matterhorn achieves only 14,700 feet. Fact 17. The Golden Gate Bridge isn't the world's longest suspension bridge. San Francisco's iconic Golden Gate may be beautiful, but ranks only 21st among the world's longest suspension bridges. When completed in 1937, it briefly held records, but modern engineering surpassed its 4,200-foot span. Turkey's 1915 Çanakkale Bridge currently holds record at over 6,600 feet. Golden Gate's fame comes from stunning location and Art Deco design rather than record-breaking length. Fact 16. Not every U.S. state uses daylight saving time. While most Americans grumble about changing clocks, Hawaii and most of Arizona skip daylight saving time. Arizona's consistent timekeeping makes sense given abundant sunshine, but creates confusion when Navajo Nation observes time changes. In Australia, only half the states recognize daylight saving. Fact 15. Kafaklubben Island is closest to North Pole. Everyone thinks Norway's Svalbard is closest land to North Pole, but Greenland's Kafaklubben Island actually holds that record. Canada's Alert Settlement houses the closest permanent human research station. Extreme Arctic conditions make these areas virtually uninhabitable, except for specially trained personnel. Fact 14. Most Sahara is rock, not sand. Hollywood shows endless sand dunes, but sand comprises only 30% of Sahara Desert. The remaining 70% consists of rocks, gravel plains, mountains, and salt flats. Media focuses on photogenic sandy areas, creating false impressions of the desert's actual geological complexity. Fact 13. Cape Agulhas is Africa's true southernmost point. Tourists flock to famous Cape of Good Hope thinking it's Africa's southernmost tip, but Cape Agulhas lies 90 miles southeast. This headland marks where Atlantic and Indian Ocean currents meet, creating the true division between these major ocean systems. Fact 12. Third World originally had nothing to do with wealth. During Cold War, Third World meant non-aligned neutral nations, not poor countries. First World meant capitalist America-aligned countries. Second World meant Soviet-aligned communist nations. Many Third World countries were actually wealthy, while some Second World nations struggled economically. Fact 11. Southeast Asia has more pirates than Somalia. Somalia became synonymous with modern piracy through extensive media coverage, but Southeast Asia's Strait of Malacca now experiences more actual incidents. International naval patrols reduced Somali piracy through enforcement, but the problem migrated rather than completely disappearing from global waters. Fact 10. Pyramids sit right next to Cairo. Romantic photographs portray Egyptian pyramids as isolated desert monuments, but they sit on Cairo's immediate outskirts. Modern suburban development extends to the pyramid complex, with Pizza Hut, KFC, and other businesses within easy walking distance of these ancient wonders. Fact 9. Australia cannot be classified as an island. Islands must be landmasses smaller than continents by geographic definition. Since Australia is surrounded by water and classified as a continent, it cannot simultaneously be an island. This makes Greenland the world's largest island, despite being much smaller than Australia. Fact 8. Greenland belongs to Denmark. Despite size difference, massive Greenland isn't independent. It's an autonomous territory of tiny Denmark. Denmark at 16,000 square miles controls Greenland's 836,000 square miles. This represents the world's most dramatic size mismatch between any territory and its governing country in existence. Fact 7. Delaware isn't America's smallest state. Everyone knows Delaware is America's smallest state, but Rhode Island is actually smaller. Delaware covers 2,489 square miles, while Rhode Island spans only 1,545 square miles. The confusion comes from Rhode Island's official name, Rhode Island and Providence Plantations, making it sound like multiple areas. Fact 6. London gets less annual rainfall than Paris. Britain's reputation for miserable weather is based on frequent drizzle rather than actual precipitation amounts. Paris receives more total annual rainfall than London, despite England's reputation for constant rain. London averages 23 inches yearly while Paris gets 25 inches. Fact 5. Mexico extends further east than west of Texas. Americans refer to Mexico as south of the border, but it's more accurate to say east of the border. The US-Mexico border runs primarily east-west rather than north-south, with most Mexican territory extending eastward from Texas rather than southward. Fact 4. Afghanistan belongs to Asia, not Middle East. Geographically and culturally, Afghanistan aligns with South Asian countries like India, Pakistan, and Nepal, rather than Middle Eastern nations. While Afghanistan shares Islamic traditions with the Middle East, its languages, ethnicities, and cultural practices connect more closely to South Asian civilizations. Fact 3. There are 5 oceans, not 4. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration recognized Southern Ocean in 1999, but National Geographic didn't acknowledge it until 2021. This newest ocean surrounds Antarctica below 60 degrees latitude and has distinct currents, wildlife, and weather patterns, differentiating it completely. Fact 2. France spans more time zones than Russia. Russia's massive landmass spans 11 time zones from Eastern Europe to Pacific, but France spans 12 through overseas territories. French territories range from Tahiti and UTC-10 to Wallis and Futuna and UTC+12, literally spanning half the globe through strategic territorial possessions. Fact 1. There aren't exactly 195 countries. United Nations recognizes 195 member states and observers, but several entities have partial international recognition. Kosovo enjoys recognition from over 100 countries, but not Serbia, Russia, or China. Taiwan operates independently, but China's influence significantly limits international recognition and diplomatic relationships. Your entire understanding of world geography just got demolished, didn't it? Let me know in the comments which fake facts shocked you the most, and smash that subscribe button because clearly, we all need better geography education. Oh, and if you believed even half of these facts before watching, don't worry, you're definitely not alone. See you in the next one.